how to set up Facebook ads the quick and dirty way. So starting off, we're in our Facebook ad manager. Ad manager is way more powerful than boosting posts because you could specifically target demographics, date, and much more characteristics around your ideal client so that your ads are much more targeted than boosting posts, which is very generic. So here we're in a Facebook ad account, and the first thing that you need to do is put a conversion pixel on your website, meaning that when they go to your website and they go to the sign in page, you're like, that looks pretty good. I want that offer. They enter their name and email and it takes them to a thank you page. You want to know how many people actually went to the thank you page. Treat that as a conversion, meaning that person took the action that you wanted on your website, filled out the form, purchased the product. Then it triggers an event, sends that back to Facebook to say, hey, Facebook, that person made it to the thank you page. Go find me other people that are just like that. So then the algorithm gets much better at targeting your ideal client. So the first thing we need to do is I like going to a little magnifying glass, bottom left-hand corner. And then I'm going to go to Event Manager. In my Event Manager, I'm going to click on my data source, which is usually the name right here. Click here. Then you want to jump to Settings and then scroll all the way down. And then we want to click Event Setup Tool. So saying, hey, give me a URL. So this is my thank you page. I'm using Leadpages. You can use ClickFunnels, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to get this URL. Saying when people make it to this URL, enter and then click Open Website. Treat them as a conversion. I already have the Facebook pixel code already on the website, so that's why this little pop-up comes up. So then you want to say, hey, what event are you tracking? Add to cart, lead, purchase, contact, what did they do on their page? Ideally, it's quick and easy, just do lead. So when they make it to this page, they are tagged as a lead, sends that back to Facebook, and then Facebook can find more people like it. I really like changing this to contains so that you have this URL that has the contains in it. It makes it easier when it fires. And then I do don't include, and I click confirm. I'm gonna click cancel. And then it says, hey, lead when people make it to this page. Great, you've now set up your code, super easy. We're gonna close this out. Now that we're back at the page, we're gonna now create the ad. So if you go to the plus symbol, go to Ad Manager, now we could create a Facebook ad from scratch. I'm gonna click on the green button that says create. It's asking us what is our goal. So we're gonna say leads. We'll click continue. And then everyone's different on how they do names. I like doing the date so I know when did this campaign start. And then I give it what's the goal, like what's the name, campaign name basically. And then I like doing versions, version 1, version 2, version 3. That way I know which ones do good. I'm always A/B testing. And then I can always go back to a previous version if one outperformed the other. So that's how I do my naming. And then we're going to skip down, leave all these the same, click next. Now, what's the goal? So there's 3 levels to a campaign. You have the folder, you have the ad set, and then you have the actual ad campaign itself. So we just did the folder, just name it, gave it a goal. Here we're saying, okay, what are we tracking as the conversion action? Conversion just means what's the action that the person took on the website that they turned into a lead, for example. So we're going to say, I'm going to do very simple, just do website. You could also send them straight to an Instagram Messenger right here. So just as soon as they click on the button, opens up a Messenger contact page where they can start DMing you directly, for example, or you could do a website. In this example, we'll do website then we're going to say, hey, what's the goal? We're going to maximize the number of conversions. Nice. We have our pixel or data set, which is the simple text fields, which we set up earlier. And then the event, which we set up, which is lead, for example. So now we can move down to the more important stuff, such as daily budget. We'll leave it at $20. Doesn't matter. Just set some amount. Always set an end date. So you can set an end date. I'm just going to do 2 weeks out. This is just for demo. Now, the most importantly, audience. Facebook's algorithm is really good, but what I like doing is being very specific about where I want this ad to show. There are 3 major states that have the most disposable income per se, or at least population too. California, Texas, Florida, and New York. This is just to show you that you can target different cities, and some you could put a radius such as, no, just show me everyone within 10 miles of that location. So we're just being very specific. Then if we go here and click switch to set up more controls, they kind of hide some settings. We're going to say, they're going to say words, be like, no, let the algorithm do it. We'll be like, no. Click switch setup. And then now here we unlock some new features. These are pretty much the old features, basically. They just hit them. So now we could be very specific about the age. Say I only want people between the age of 25, boom, and let's say probably 54. There's different age brackets for the groups. Now Facebook could say, hey, can we show it to people outside of this range? I'm going to say no by unselecting that. And then you could change genders if you want to just do males or females, for example. And then I would just leave the rest the same. For example, I wouldn't do targeted demographics or behaviors because mainly the Facebook algorithm is going to get much better at targeting people. You can see a little audience selection, which is you want it to be green, for example. And then roughly the conversions, I wouldn't worry about. They're really off anyways. So then placements, where on the Facebook and Instagram app are you going to show your ad, for example? So if we click on show settings, then we could be very specific. We could say, hey, do we want mobile device? Well, first you could say mobile or desktop. I'm just going to choose mobile. Most everyone's on mobile devices. These aren't standard settings. More, I'm just showing you where are the different settings that you could change if you wanted to that are specific to your ad campaign. So then I'm like, yeah, I just want to show it on mobile platforms. I just want to show it on, say I want to do one on Facebook and Instagram on the feed, for example. There's also Reel. Feed and Reels are like the top two main ones right now. Then I could go placement control, click on this. This is where you can show the many different real estate places that you could show on Facebook or Instagram. The main ones, like if you're doing a reel or vertical video, remember the template. If you're doing a photo, video, or horizontal or square, does impact where you can show it. So I'm going to show you two options that are super simple to get started. If you're doing just a square, actually we'll do this one. If you're doing a reel, a vertical video, then the main ones that you want to do right here is check stories and reels. And then you just want to do Facebook Reels, you don't need Messenger, Facebook Reels, Instagram Stories, and Facebook Stories. Those are the places that if you want to show a vertical video, those are going to be the best places. Now, video takes time and editing to like create. So the option B that you could do is just a 10 by 10 square, like a 1080 by 1080 square. You use Canva to create this, which we'll use in this example. So if you're going to do a square, I'm going to uncheck Stories and Reels, hide this little thing, uncheck here because we don't need this, uncheck here. You can be very specific about where it shows. So the other place is under feeds. This is where you could do squares, and the only real two is Facebook feed and Instagram feed. That's all. You could get crazier by showing it on different places, but that's a lot for like retargeting. When you're doing your retargeting campaign and they're just exploring other places of the apps, your ads can continuously show up in the many different places, but we're keeping it simple for this example. Instagram feed and Facebook feed, you could throw a square image, quicker, faster to A/B test so that you could get a higher score, which we'll look at a report right after. So there's this example of a feed. So for example, if I do Instagram feed, there you go, picture of an Instagram feed. And then if you want to do Reels, you can see what does like Instagram stories. There we go. Reels or something like that where you got a vertical video. Facebook will even tell you what are the dimensions of your image or photo. 9 by 16 is the vertical. I think it's 1:1, which is also the square, for example. So that's location, price, and that. So now we're going to just scroll down, leave everything the same, and I'm going to move on to next. We're moving down to the third tier right here. Now from the last one, now we can actually create our ad campaign. So from here, I'm going to go, if you have your Facebook and Instagram, you definitely want to link it here. This will link it. Then if we go all the way down, I'm going to uncheck multi-advertiser. We just don't need that. We're going to do just a very simple single image. Great. And then if you put your image or your URL link here, it will give you some extra ad copy, some AI copy, which is helpful. But I already have an image. This is the most important part, image and primary text. These are the main two things that you could change to optimize your Facebook ad so you can get a higher conversion score. The media or image or creative. So click here, click add image. You could click upload, find the file. I'm just going to use this one, for example, and then click next. Then it's going to ask you to do resizing, basically, if you want to crop it. If you didn't make it in Canva, for example, to the right size, here's where you would fix it. But we did in Canva 1080 by 1080, super simple. Click next. Facebook's going to do some AI enhancements like make brightness, change the little background a little. I'm like, nah, I don't want you doing any of that. I'm going to click skip and continue. There's also some more touch-ups or optimizations. I'm like, nah, I don't want any of that. Uncheck and click done. Great. So we did our image right there. Again, you could add either a video or image right here. And then you can see Facebook feed, Instagram feed. It's going to show up there. Perfect. And then we got a little preview right here so you can see what it looks like. Awesome. Next, most importantly, is the primary text right here. So if I click on that, I just wrote some sales copy in ChatGPT, for example. Highly recommend you need to be using ChatGPT to write your sales copy, especially optimize it. It's way better and faster. So I just quickly whip this up for just some text. I'm just going to format it. Pretty much the most important thing when you're looking at the ad, regardless of what the text is that you're putting here, for example, you want a couple main things. Number one, you really want the first few characters or first, basically 3 lines that you're looking at, the most attention grabbing lines right here, because right here, that's the real estate that you have to work with. This is just one sentence up to a line. That's it. Then the user could click on more and then it will show them all the text. So you really need to make sure that this is really eye capturing for your ideal client, mainly speaking about the biggest pain point, or the biggest benefit to your product or service or transformation, for example. Then they'll click more and they can see all the text, for example. Nice. So here, just format wherever you want. And then you need some call to action at the very end. Always remind the user what's the action that you want them to take. And then you have your headline here. So if I click on headline, I'm just going to put whatever you want, because when you do it for Facebook feed, because your headline, which is right here, there's our headline, that is going to show here. That's your headline right there. So it's one sentence, nice and bold, boom. And then you have your second, which is the description line right down here. So here you can say something that you want there and it will show up. There's the description right there showing in the ad. And then you have your button, which you can select the call to action button. Is it learn more? Is it sign up? Is it subscribe? Is it apply? Select your option here and that will change the text for the button. And now we're jamming, we're moving on down. That's pretty, next, most importantly is the URL. When they click on the ad or this learn more button, where are you taking them? We're going to take them to this URL right here. So that's our end destination URL, for example. It's actually going to be not that URL you put the conversion, but the landing page for the opt-in, for example. And then scroll down, browser actions. We're just going to click none because we're just saying them to a website to capture the information. But if you were doing a messaging app or something like that, you would click here and then you could put, if you wanted to create a form, or you could do a messaging app and you could connect what you want that conversation to be. But we're just saying them to a website. Super easy. We're going to click none. And that's it. Done. We could review. Always make sure how your ad looks and make sure you're like, yeah, optimize it, especially the first opening sentences for your lines to make sure it looks great. Then once it's done, go ahead and click publish and it's live. Lastly, and most importantly, is checking the performance of the ad so you can see how well it's doing. These are the columns that you want in your report so that you can read it to see the performance of it. Impressions, reach, clicks, click-through rate, and cost per click, and then conversions, which is way down here. So let's go through each one of those so we know what they means. So impressions and reach. Reach is the number of times that it shows to a unique person, Bob, Joe, Sally, for example. So that means it showed this ad to 266 unique people. Now, let's say Bob, for example, it showed it twice. Well, then impressions will be a little bit larger. So that's why sometimes you'll see impressions a larger number than reach. Reach is unique number of people that it shows it to. And then impressions, say it shows Bob twice, this count will show a little bit more. Then we have clicks. How many people actually, of the 266, clicked on the ad? So one person clicked on it, great. So then if we take 266 divided by 1, that is your click-through rate. Now, for average, what you basically want, if it's under 3%, basically this is how you want to think about click-through rate, at least for a Facebook ad. If it's under 3%, it's horrible. Just do better. But you also need to make sure, like under reach, that you have enough data that you can make a decision. So I like to wait for this to show up to about 1,000 under the impression. Then I'll look at the clicks, then I'll look at the click-through rate, then I'll make the decision to see if I need to improve this ad, for example. So the step number 1 is making sure you have enough data. So I like to do 1,000 views. Then we'll go into clicks. and then click-through rate. Now, click-through rate, this is the key thing. For Facebook, if it's under 3%, do better. A/B test, run another ad, change the image or change the copy, and run another ad, and then try and beat your score. If it's above 3%, great. That's pretty good. 3 to 4, even 5% is phenomenal. You could just leave it at that, or you can A/B test and just get a little more conversions of more people on it. Then you got cost per click from there. And then most importantly down here is conversions and leads. When people actually fill out the form on the website, you'll start seeing leads, or there's a column for conversions that you'll start seeing that count. So you can see how many people actually went to the thank you page, because then you could drill down to demographic, age, and you get more information on it. So that was just a quick and fast way to go through the different settings in a Facebook ad campaign so you could get started, run your own ad, spend your own money, test it, optimize it so you get more leads and generate more sales. That's it for today's lesson. If you learned something, subscribe for more tips, but more importantly, join my email list so you get more marketing tips directly to your email. I'm Jonathan Acuna. Hope you learned something. Bye.